So make sure that you have the 4 different states in mind when you make the button. Start with an image. You can use Photoshop and you can translate that image into something that can be simplified as an image in Photoshop. So let's open. Here we go. So I've got these cookies that I had scanned at one time, and we could turn these into buttons. The ginger girl first. And when you select something in Photoshop and you go to the move tool and then you click one side to the other, you can get it to exactly draw the marching ants around it, so you can tell that you don't have any extra dots somewhere that you don't want. And here I want to tilt it a little bit so that it's more straight. Okay, so now let's edit, and I have to OK that. Edit, copy, file, new, and we're going to call this Ginger Girl. OK, Command V, there she is. You can see I was blending the middle of this at some point. Now, filter, no, filter gallery. Let's go to filter gallery, it's easy to figure here. I always like cutout because it cuts down to the least number of colors. I'm going to add a couple more colors, it'll give it a little bit more texture. There we go. Very nice. Okay, so here we've got an edge simplicity of 4, edge fidelity of 2, but a number of levels of 6. Okay, so I like that, and I'm going to select inverse. There we go, and then I'm going to image crop because I don't want all that excess in there. And now I'll file, save. Let's save it as Ginger Girl, and I want to put it into the same folder as the others. Okay, close it. We can import it directly or we can bring it through Illustrator. Okay, we go to Illustrator, File, New, use the same presets there. Okay, and now we're going to File, Place, and we will choose Ginger Girl. And now this is a raster image. And I want it to be smaller because it's too big to be used as a button. So I'm going to make it smaller. And now I'm going to live trace it. I'm going to use tracing options. I want to make sure it's in color. But I want it to have only 6 colors. That's good. And I want to ignore white in case there's any white that came in from the background. And now I'm going to preview it. It looks pretty good. And I'm going to trace that. And now, before you can actually use it as a vector, you have to expand it. Okay, so now let's go down here and look at it. And now we can go ahead and make her into a symbol. So open up symbol. And once again, you've got all these preset symbols. But I don't want any of these symbols. I'm going to go ahead and just delete all of them. And now I'm just going to go ahead, since this is still selected, just F8, we'll make it into a symbol, and we're going to call it Ginger Girl. Make sure it is, can be a movie clip or a graphic, it doesn't matter because it says here, movie clip and graphic are tagged for flash import. There is no difference between these two symbols in Illustrator, and we're going to change it into a button anyway. So there you go, there's the symbol. Now, file save. We'll call it Ginger Girl. Button. Okay. Now, once again, all we need to do is import to stage Ginger Girl button. Okay, yeah, so it's right on top of the green one. So what we'll do is we will move it over, move this one over, choose them all again. Let's choose them all again. You need a line and distribute them once again. Let's distribute their horizontal center, and there you go. Okay, so you've got these different things. This has to be now changed into the right kind of symbol because it is not a button yet. So we have to change it into Properties, Button. Now once again, when these are first brought in, they don't have any more than the one state. So it's going to be easier to work with this button if we break apart the picture of the cookie before we start. So Command B, Command B, Command B, and then it's all one solid piece. So let's go ahead and duplicate F6, duplicate F6, and then we'll duplicate again F6. Now, of course, there's different ways of doing this. You don't always have to do it this way. This is just to get you started. So we're going to call this cookie for that layer. And then if we want to, we can put in an extra layer or two to put in some interesting effects. So for the overstate, F6, let's go ahead and copy this, Command C, lock it so we don't overwrite it, and turn off the eyeball. Shift Command B, paste it in exactly the same place. Now let's go ahead and make this one solid color and make it a bright color. So a nice bright, warm, toasty color, pleasant, warm color. Here, that's a good one. And let's expand that out by using Transform and make it about 150%. Okay, change this to a gradient, and we'll get that warm color again now that we know what kind of color we want. And for the radial gradient here, so this is the middle where it's bright and shiny. This is the outside where it's black. Let's make this into the nice warm browny color, which was more or less like in there. Nice warm browny color. And that's in here, let's also get a similar brown color, okay, because what we're going to do is we're going to make this an alpha of 0. And then we'll add another one of these here, pull it out further towards there. Okay, and now let's make sure that that really does have that lovely gradient on there. Let's see how that looks. Turn the eyeball back on. Okay, so now we can make it a lot more transparent around the edges, and maybe even a sort of a yellower color here. Okay, now let's see, maybe we want to make that just a little bit smaller. So go to transform and unlink it because we're going to make it a little bit there. Maybe even smaller than that. I think a little bit smaller would be good. So let's make it a little bit smaller. And this will be a very interesting way of showing people that they are going to click the button. Okay? And then we'll come back up to the one above here, and then we can change this color to a somewhat brighter color. Okay, so that's the overstate then. So overstate, and then the downstate, we want to F6. And let's make the downstate, we can make this color go perhaps redder. And then this color, perhaps make it a deeper color of brown. Okay, so there's our button there. And when you have it down, let's say we get the cookie, when the cookie is down, let's have it transform to be a little smaller. When you're over it, let's have it be a little larger. And that will give people the idea that they're over something that's actually having an effect. Okay, now the hit area we can make practically covering the outer glow. Okay, so that's our ginger girl button. So let's Command S, and then let's Command Return, and we'll try that one out. Whoa, we didn't change the instance on the... There we go, we got to change that to a button as well. Okay, now we'll do it. Command Return.